The student of class 9. Now we will read English Behind the book, third chapter, The Little Girl. Let's read the lesson. This lesson is about a girl who afraid from her father because she thought his appearance was so big hand and to the little girl he was a figure to be feared and avoided. Every morning before going to work, he came into her room and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded with, "Goodbye, father," and oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. It, her father used to come in her room and give the casual kiss when it became the carriage sound of the carriage vanished out. In the evening when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall, "Bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if my paper's out there and bring me my slippers." Kezia, mother would call to her, "If you are a good girl, you can come down and take off father's boots." Slowly the girl would slip down the stairs more slowly, still across the hall, and push open the drawing room door. Slowly the girl came down from her room and pushed the door gently and stood by the helplessly his father's seat. By the time he had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. "Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off these boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today?" I don't know, father. You didn't know. If you stutter like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor. She never stuttered because she feared from her father, so she stuttered in front of her father. She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. "What's the matter? What are you looking so wretched about?" "Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide." Here, Kezia, carry up teacup back to the table carefully. He was so big, his hands and his neck, especially his mouth, when he yawned. Thinking about him alone was the thinking about a giant. She was thinking her father was like a giant, especially when he yawned. On Sunday afternoon, grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with father and mother, but the little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on the sofa, her handkerchief on his face, his feet on one of the vast cushions, sleep soundly and snoring. On the Sunday morning when she used to come in drawing room, her mother was reading and her father was stretched and sleeping profoundly. She sat on a stool, gravely watched him until he woke and stretched and asked the time, then looked at her. "Don't scare so, Kezia. You look like a little brown owl." One day when she was kept indoors with a cold, her grandmother told her that father's birthday was next week and suggested she should make she should make him a pin cushion for a gift out of beautiful piece of yellow silk, laboriously with a double cotton. The little girl stitches three sides, but what to fill it with? That was the question. The grandmother was out in the garden and she wandered into mother's bedroom to look for scraps on the bed table. She discovered a great many sheets of paper, gathered them up, tore them into tiny pieces and stuffed her case, then sewed up the fourth side. Her grandmother one day told, your father's birthday was arriving now and you have to give a pin cushions with yellow silk. The night there was a hue and cry at the house. Father's great speech for the port authority had been lost. Rooms were searched, servants questions. Finally, mother came into Kejia's room. Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some paper on a table in our room. Oh yes, she said. I tore them up for my surprise. What? Screamed mother. Come straight down to the dining room this instant. And she was dragged down to where father was pacing up and fro, pacing to and fro, hands behind his back. Well, he said sharply, mother explained. He stopped and stared at the child. Did you do that? No, she whispered. Mother, go up to her room and fetch down the damn things. See that the child put to bed this instant, trying too much to explain. She lay in the shadowed room watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. Then father came into the room with a ruler in his hands. I am going to beat you for this, he said. Oh no, she screamed, hiding under the bed. She went in her room and slipped in the bed, but her father came with a rule in his hand and he assured that he was going to beat you for this kind of performing the work. Oh no, she screamed, hiding under the bed clothes. He pulled them aside, sit up, he ordered, and hold out your hands. You must be taught once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you. But it was for your birthday. Down came the ruler on her little pink palm. Hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her on the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. What did God mean, father? As she sobbed. Here's a clean hanky, darling. Blow your nose and go to sleep, pet. You will forget all about it in the morning. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. But the child never forget. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back and a red color blew into her cheeks. The McDonald's lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. The father with the baby Mao on his shoulders. Two little girls hanging on his coat pockets ran round and round with flower beds shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the house on him and he tried to catch them. Catch. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him and he tried to catch them, laughing at all the time. Then she decided there were different sorts of fathers. Suddenly one day mother became ill and she and grandmother went to hospital. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice the cook. That was the night to the right night in the daytime. But while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. What will I do if I have a nightmare? She asked. I often had nightmares, and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery. You just go to sleep, child, and said Alice, putting up her socks, and don't you scream and wake your father. Poor but at the same time, nightmare came, the butcher with a knife and a rope who came nearer and nearer, smiling in dreadful smile, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, Grandma, Grandma. She woke, shivering to see father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. What's the matter? He said. On a butcher, a knife. Oh, a butcher, a knife. I want Granny. He blew out the candle, bent down and caught up the child in his arms, carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. A newspaper was on read. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. He lay down beside her, half asleep still. He with her the butcher's knife all about here it seemed. She kept close to him, smacked her head under his arm, held steady to his shirt. Then the dark did not matter. He lay still. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, said father. Tried out to sleep, slept before the little girl. A funny feeling came over her. Poor father, not so big after all, and with no one to look after him. He was harder than grandmother, but it was a nice hardness, and every day he had to work and was too tired to be a Mr. MacDonald. He had torn up all his beautiful writing. He had torn up all his beautiful writing. He stirred suddenly and sighed. What's the matter? Asked her father. Another dream. Who said the little girl? My head on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you have got, father dear. Your lesson is completed. Now look on the whiteboard. Summary of the lesson. The little girl shows a child's acceptance of her parents for their own personalities, strengths, and weaknesses. This is the story of Kezia, who lived with her father, mother, and grandmother. She was afraid of her father as he was strict, and fear of him used to make her stutter in front of her. On her effort to communicate with her parents, she found them indifferent. Once, while making a surprise gift for her father, she mistakenly tore her father's important papers to complete the gift. Because of this, her father became upset and scolded and beat her. This incident left extremely frustrated, especially when she compared her father with jovial neighbor Mr. MacDonald. On another night, she woke up due to a nightmare. At this time, her father consoled her and helped her sleep. She then realized that due to his busy schedule, her father was not able to devote the same time as her night neighbor, but nonetheless, he had a big heart. Now, see the answer says, question, thinking about the text. Why was Kezia afraid of her father? Exercise में question number. Now, see the exercise. Question number 1. Why was Kezia afraid of her father? Answer. Kezia was afraid of her father because he was strict. Besides, his appearance was so frightful. Question number 2. Who were the people in Kezia's family? Father, mother, and grandmother were the people in Kezia's family. Question number 3. What was Kezia's father's routine? इसका first part. Before going to his office, he used to come Kezia's room and give a casual kiss. इसका second part. After coming back from the office, Kezia's father used to ask for tea, newspaper, and the slippers. Now, third part of the question number 3 and 4, you have to complete as your homework. Now your lesson completed. Thank you.